Siomra beag.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sure Look, Sure Listen, the podcast that takes a pop at culture.
Sure look, sure listen. Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen. Oh, very good, ladies and gentlemen. Benjamin, thank you for that lovely intro. But sure look, Ben, we don't have time for any of that because this week Netflix seems to have shit the bed or had some sort of investors meeting where they've released all sorts of mad looking stuff, Benjamin. Most of it named as if it's the first draft. So this week we'll be taking a look at The School for Good and Evil, which is the actual name of a thing that they're publishing, not a pitch. Also, we're going to have a look at Peripheral, Benjamin. Ooh, and probably my favourite, Mr. Hartigan's phone.
Sure listen.
Also, Benjamin. Also, no, I'm not done. Also, Trolls versus Racism. The Little Mermaid's back at it again. What's going on? Is it trolls or is it racism? Fucking, I tell you what, Ben, it's probably both. And we've both seen episode 5 of She-Hulk.
Sure listen, Michael, if that wasn't enough, and it isn't for a weekly comic book club. No, this isn't our weekly comic book club. Michael, I'm very tired.
It's very early, Ben.
I won't go to bed.
Let's give the listeners a look behind the curtain. It's very early in the morning for some reason.
It's very early in the morning. I made a mistake, Michael. I thought we'd be more productive at 9 a.m. I was wrong.
No, it's very early. It's like work.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Michael, I logged in today and you were in a little hoodie and you were giving a big yawn. You just
I've got my little slippers on as well, Benjamin. I'll just show you now.
You got little slippy boys?
Got my little slippers on. My little old man slippers. I'm going to have a bowl of porridge after this.
Oh, yeah. Very good
Great
for you.
stuff. Yeah, very good
for you. Very hearty. Michael, if that wasn't enough, we are also taking a look at the trope of strangers in a strange land, and we're going to be taking a look at how that's affected. It was a bloody trope, Michael. You have to wait and listen to find out.
Oh, sorry.
Or you can just go to the timestamps there in the description. It's up to you.
Oh yeah. Benjamin.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on with Netflix, but my friend and yours, Sean, was sending stuff to me on the internet this week, and they're doing some mad stuff, Benjamin.
Yeah. They
What's
seem
going
to
on
be
with them? Benjamin,
yeah.
let's talk about the first one.
Okay.
The school, is it School for Good and Evil or the School of Good and Evil? Or,
does
Ben,
it matter.
Secret option 3. Doesn't matter, because they're both equally stupid.
It doesn't matter. They both look fairly odd. So, Michael, this seems to be the notion that fairy tales are decided. I can't wrap my head around this concept. The basic principle is that every fairy tale you've ever had is split into goodies and baddies.
Yeah, goodies and baddies. Goodies,
And
Cinderella. Baddies, the other characters.
The other characters. And then the secondary, the idea behind that, Michael, is that this is the school that trains them to go on to take up their greatest stories, and those become the fairy tales we all know. Now, I have a few questions here, Michael, because generally the stories in fairy tales are older people.
Not sexy young CW people.
Not sexy young CW people, as Netflix would have us believe in this trailer, Michael. So what I want to know, Michael, is what kind of HR issues do we have there? Are we allowed to have adult students and child students in there? Where's the child protection, Michael, in the school?
Where is the safeguarding, Benjamin? That's what I would like to know.
Where is the safeguarding, Michael?
Also, here's the big question that I'd like to answer, Ben. This is the main question I'd like answered. Why don't they just do away with the School for Evil?
Yeah, surely that would save everyone a lot of time.
That would have been my first suggestion. Is, lads, I like what you're doing on the School for Good side. I'd probably come up with a better name, maybe Miss Peregrine's Home for Wayward Children.
Yes,
but or Hogwarts if you wanted. That's a good one. That's probably not taken.
It's probably not taken.
Yeah, or wherever Percy Jackson went, Camp Cretaceous.
That was Michael. Very controversial name for that. Camp Half-Blood.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's got a few issues in there.
Can't say that in this day and age.
Issues in there, Michael. A few issues.
Yeah, Benjamin. People call me half-blood, not because I have any sort of mixed race heritage or anything like that, because I just have half of the normal amount of blood.
Yes, you're a few pints short of a full person.
Yeah, and not that it's distributed evenly. It's just there's none near the top.
No, see, it explains your complexion.
It's very mean, Benjamin. Benjamin, look at the cast.
Michael, this is
Look at it.
this is primetime television's all-star cast. We've got Charlize Theron,
Old CT herself.
old CT herself as the headmistress of the evil school.
I think she's the headmistress of the evil school, Ben, and therefore very sexy.
Very sexy, Michael.
Very sexy.
And then, Michael, what we've got is Kerry Washington, who is less sexy.
She's the bloody headmaster of the good school, and therefore not so sexy.
No. Lawrence
No one wants
Fishburne
me.
is there for some reason.
Lawrence Fishburne also on the good side, and therefore somewhat less sexy.
Is he on the good side, though?
Benjamin, I don't know, is he?
Well,
Thought he
we'll
was.
never know. Then we've got two no names, Michael, as our main cast characters. We've got Aggie and I didn't catch the other girl's name. I didn't hear it in the trailer.
Sophie?
So okay, Aggie and Sophie and Michael. For some reason, they've been chosen. So it's got that
been
old
chosen.
gemstone of a trope, the chosen one trope. Is it? You didn't do anything to earn your place here. We invite a few randoms in every once in a while.
Yeah, we just abduct them with like UFO horses.
UFO horses are a big bird stick eagle thing.
Big bird eagle thing. Like straight out of Ben, there's a little known kind of young adult or kind of children's / young adult series similarly set in a school with magical flying beasts. Have you ever heard of Harry Potter?
I think I saw something about that once on a really
It's not
obscure
huge, though.
book blog I used to follow.
Yeah, it's not huge. It's not huge, but it's just Harry Potter, Ben.
It's just Harry Potter, Michael, but
It's
with
Harry
fairy
Potter
tales.
with fairy tales and Americans.
That's the worst part about it, I think. One of the interesting things that I saw, Michael, is apparently there's two grades of evil in the School of Good and Evil.
Oh.
There's regular old school sanctioned evil.
School sanctioned evil, yeah, very good.
I think that's like hazing and brushing the janitor's things under the closet. I don't know what that is. School sanctioned. And then apparently, Michael, there's an old and real evil. And that's got Aggie. That gets Aggie.
Oh no, that's got inside her.
It's all fun and games, Michael, until there's real evil.
It's all exactly, Benjamin. I went to secondary school in Ireland, and I tell you what, I think we got the real evil. I went to an all boys secondary school, and it was just the school for evil and evil is what we called it.
It's just evil squared.
Evil squared, Benjamin. This is incredible that this has been made. Like,
It's the worst title I think I've ever come across for a film in quite a while.
it's absolutely incredible, Ben. You know, sometimes we do a little bit where we can't remember the film, so we just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Like Bruce Willis is stuck in that tower. That's what this is like.
They've
That's
done
what
that for us, Michael.
they've just done it straight away. They've just done. I don't know what we call it. The School for Good and Evil. Just call it the School for Good and Evil, and we'll come up with something better later.
Yeah, we'll change it later.
Charlize, do you have any ideas? And she's like, no, I don't have any ideas. Get away from me. I'm evil now.
I'm evil now. She's a method actor. She just
method,
went full evil.
She went full evil, Benjamin. She's full method. I can't believe they have a school for evil. Who have they got teaching in the school for evil, Ben? Hitler, Mao Zedong.
Michael, anyone that you'd want teaching in the School of Evil is probably someone you wouldn't want near kids.
It's
just a
it's
few.
just conceptually mental, isn't it?
It is. It's conceptually all over the
just
shop.
mad.
All
Just come in
over
here.
the shop.
Come in here and we'll teach you evil. Mad shit altogether, Ben. Look, we've caused enough ruckus now that we're going to have to watch it.
Yeah, well, we are. We'll do a little watch party, Michael. We'll all hang out.
We'll do a little watch party, Benjamin, and we'll rate all of the teachers based on how sexy they are.
No, thank you. I don't want to do that.
No, Benjamin, like not traditional sexy, evil sexy.
Oh, Eve. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, Michael.
Yeah.
We can do that as much as you want. Come here to me, Michael. I've just noticed in the running order we have things in the wrong order because we're having a little Netflix bash at the moment. So I'm just going to swap two of these.
You swap those around, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Benjamin, what other very directly named films are coming out on Netflix?
So, Michael, you sent me a trailer not 5 minutes before this podcast.
Yeah.
That's set in 2002.
I don't know when it's set, Benjamin. Is it set at the release of the iPhone?
I think so.
I think that was 2007.
Okay. Well,
My
Michael,
old technology knowledge stretches to thinking that the iPhone was released in 2007. I could be wrong, though. You spin your wheels and I'll check.
So, yeah, Michael, have you ever thought, right? What if...
I try to
What
avoid
if... I know, it shows. Have you ever thought to yourself, I wonder what would happen if technology was just magic and weird?
Yeah, I'm always thinking that.
I think most people over the age of 75 might already think that, Michael. Then, Jesus, this technology stuff is magic and a bit weird.
Magic and weird, and very much not for me.
Well, Michael, what if
Yes.
your phone payment plan,
Yes.
if you were with a Vodafone or Virgin
Vodafone,
Media,
Virgin Media, yeah. Orange.
or an Orange, if you had an Orange.
Other mobile networks are available, Ben.
Yeah, but those are the ones we're going to talk about. What if, Michael, that plan never ran out? What if you could call people from the dead?
That's not what's going on, Ben.
No, it's a little bit like what's going on though. So what happens is there's a classic milksop, Michael.
Yes.
Set up here.
I thought it was Will from Stranger Things, Ben, but it's not. It's Bill from It.
Yeah, it's that kid I can't stand, Michael. He's the dream Stephen King casting, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is based
probably Jared.
This is based on a Stephen King thing, and so he's a milksop.
A milksop, yeah. A common or garden. I can't think of a better word. A common or garden milksop.
No, a piece of wet lettuce, Michael.
Yes, yeah.
And he's struck up a friendship with an elderly gentleman.
As they so often do, Ben.
Milksop's an elderly gentleman, Michael. 2 peas in a pod.
Tuesdays with Maury.
Exactly. It's like Tuesdays with Maury. Fantastic podcasting there for me.
Big sneeze there. Right
It's
over
like-
my best joke.
It was a very good joke, Michael. Tuesdays with Maury. So in a classic fashion, the old milksop, he's not having a great time, Michael.
Yeah, he's probably being bullied, Ben, by larger children.
He's being bullied, Michael, by the bulliest of bulliest young men that I've ever seen, Michael. Again, some prime Stephen King casting there.
Very good. That child is probably angry because he's an adult and he's still in secondary school.
Yeah, that's pretty frustrating as an experience, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he's in the school for good and evil and his professors keep trying to do awful things to him.
Do a bit more evil, they said. See that milksop over there? Go and rough him up.
Go and rough him up. So the plot is kind of a classic Stephen King thing. It's like, in a small town, a young man doesn't quite fit in. Is it Stephen King? Yes. Do we say that?
Yes.
No.
Yes, it is. It's Stephen Regal. Stephen Regal.
So anyway, what happens is, Michael, in this Tuesday with Maury-esque setup, the young milksop and the elderly gentleman, played by Donald Sutherland for some inexplicable reason.
Of all people.
Of all people. He gives him an iPhone, Michael.
At least it's not Charlize Theron, then.
At least it's not Charlize Theron, Michael. Because she'd be sitting there going, can we do some evil with these iPhones, can we?
Let's do some sexy evil.
So, Michael, they set him up, and for some reason, the Pirate King becomes the important phrase that it comes from. So Donald Sutherland chooses that as his name. We go, oh, you rapscallious gentleman. What could that possibly mean? And then we find out, Michael, that perhaps in his lifetime, he's not been a very nice man. And then, Michael, in a classic Tuesday with Maury's twist, he dies.
Is that what happens? I haven't read Tuesdays with Maury.
I've never read Tuesdays with Maury. I won't. But all old people die eventually, Michael. It's one of those things.
It is one of those things. That's the nature of life, Ben.
And Donald Sutherland. So Sutherland. In this particular case. But anyway, what's going to happen there, Michael, is he's having a real tough time. I tell you what, bullies don't take days off for bereavement, Michael.
They're too busy, Ben.
And the milksop is getting a thrashing once again. And so he has a little. I don't know if he texts him or he tries to.
He calls him.
For some reason, Michael, he puts the iPhone in the dead man's pocket.
Yeah.
And then he gives him a call.
Gives him a call.
And Donald Sutherland's ghost.
Donald Sutherland's ghost. Donald Sutherland's ghost, Benjamin. You have me a Donald Sutherland's ghost.
Donald Sutherland's ghost starts to kill people for him.
Benjamin, it's Death Note. It's the film Death Note, but with 2007 technology instead of ancient Japanese demons.
But I don't understand why it's 2007, Michael.
Because that's when the iPhone was invented, Ben. Keep it together.
But why don't you just give an old man a phone?
Because he doesn't want a phone. He wants an iPhone, Ben.
Michael, this looks fucking bizarre.
It's mad. It's mad as fuck. Was this written in 2007? I bet you Stephen King wrote it in 2007. I think what's particular... First of all, Benjamin, our friend Sean sent me this trailer the other day, and I watched the first 30 seconds and immediately texted back and said, why are you sending me young adult emotional dramas? And then Donald Sutherland's ghost. Then Donald Sutherland died and came back as a ghost. And I thought, that's why. That's why. It's Donald Sutherland's ghost. Because I was thinking, Ben, I ain't got no time for no John Green written stories about young men and old men forming bonds over 2007 technology. I think what's particularly weird about this is 2007 is long enough ago to be a bit retro, but too close to now that it's not just a bit weird to set something in 2007 instead of now.
Yeah.
What are you doing in 2007 that you're not doing now?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
FaceTime.
But like, you could FaceTime a dead person, that'd be spooky, wouldn't it?
It'd be more spooky. They'd probably be like, it's me, Donald Sutherland's ghost.
Yeah, I don't know, Michael.
Great stuff, Ben. I am thoroughly excited to see Mr. Hartigan's
phone.
Oh, fucking hell, that name. That. Just continuing the great tradition of names which are exactly what it is.
Yeah, but it comes from a short story / mini novella from Stephen King.
Yeah, it's a novella by Stephen King, yeah. I've probably read it, Ben, but I forgot.
You probably have. You probably gave up and went, why am I reading this about? Why is Tuesdays with Maury so sinister? What happened?
Yeah. This isn't how I remember Tuesdays with Maury ending.
So, Michael.
Yes, what is it?
This comes from Stephen King's collection of short stories.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a collection of previously unpublished novellas, and it was released in 2020, If It Bleeds. And this is one of the stories. Why is this set in 2007, Michael?
Well, if it was previously unreleased, Ben, maybe I haven't read it then. I assumed I'd read it.
Update it.
No, don't update it, Ben, because the whole thing is probably the excitement of the new technology.
Get out of here.
This is about fear of progress, Ben.
It stars Donald Sutherland and Jaden Martell, who I can't stand because he's a creepy little milksop.
I thought his name was Jared Benjamin. He played Bill Denborough in It.
He was also in Knives Out. He was the little alt-right.
Oh, the little shit, yeah. The little alt-right shit.
And such a good job did he do in that anytime I see him now, I'm like, oh, you're a creepy little shit.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Benjamin.
But it's unfortunate for him. But, good acting.
Speaking of creepy little kid characters, your favourite kid character of all time, Hit Girl, played by Chloe... what's her name? Chloe
Moretz.
Yeah, she's back, Ben.
For some reason. It's funny, Michael, way back in the day when those two were released, you used to have like a kind of a clash of titans between her and Abigail Breslin.
AB, we call her.
And they would both kind of be out there for the sassy little white girl roles. that was kind of their bread and butter. And they both grew up and went, oh god, this acting business isn't great, is it? And then some of them seem to have gotten relatively decent looking series upcoming or movies. I'm not sure what this is. And some of them have been relegated to the realm of Thomas Jane B vampire flicks.
Thomas Jane as Nicolas Cage. Yeah, I think this is a series, Ben.
Yes, this is.
I tell you what, even though I'm the one who sent this to you, and it was only 2 days ago, I have no idea what this is about. I can't remember a single thing about it.
Good.
Chloe Grace Moretz is in generic sci-fi.
Yes, so.
Do you like young adult sci-fi? Well, here you go. Here's some of it.
Pretty much. I mean, that seems to be what we're getting. But
remind me what's going on.
So this is by science fiction kind of pioneer William Gibson. It's based on a book that he released.
Billy Gibson from the
Billy Gibbs.
Billy Gibbs. Okay, all right.
The man who's responsible for our understanding of cyberpunk.
Oh.
Or the man who coined the term cyberpunk and then went on to fill it with novels. But this is from his 2014 novel, because what I found out today also is that William Gibson's still alive.
Oh, good man.
Yeah, we should try to get him on the podcast. But yeah, William Gibson's still alive. So this is his 2014 one, Michael, and the novel is quite strange, Michael. It's based on the notion of the metaverse
Basically.
that Facebook is so obsessed with doing. This looks a little bit like a very serious Ready Player One.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's you're going into a sci-fi. You're getting the helmet from Ready Player One, and you're going into a virtual reality experience. But maybe that's not a virtual reality experience at all. Maybe what the virtual reality experience is doing is actually tapping into unrealized potential realities.
Unrealized stuff, Michael.
And I tell you what, Benjamin, of all the things we've seen so far, including the excellent The School of Good and Evil, this was the one that most got my attention.
Yeah, I think this
even
looks,
though I forgot what it was.
It's got a hint of good Christopher Nolan about it.
Oh.
And what I mean by that is it seems like a high sci-fi concept. It's got an Irishman in cyberspace. Jack Rayner's there.
Oh, I hate Jack Rayner, Ben. Ever since he justified going out with a 17-year-old.
Oh no, did he?
Well, he didn't. The character he played did. I'm following up on your dislike of Jared Padalecki or whatever his name is.
Not liking actors who.
Not liking actors based on their roles. Yeah.
Interestingly, Jared Padalecki, not the man we were talking about earlier, he's actually a bit rubbish in real life. Apparently,
he does seem a bit rubbish, doesn't he? He likes to give people a big punch and stuff.
He likes to give people a big punch. Not a great guy. But yeah, so this is set in alternate futures, Michael, or something like that. It's very hard to kind of keep track of what's going on. But Chloe Moretz Price, her brother was in the army. And he brings back a haptic device, Michael.
Oh yeah, like in Ready Player One.
Yeah, and it'll strap you into a reality. But Michael, it only goes and sends you into an alternate dark future where you can kind of access things and change the future before it even happens, Michael.
Oh, that's just called living, Ben.
That's just called living, Michael, but not in this case, because if you put on the thing, you get a sexy outfit and a different colour grade.
Oh, very good. A different colour grade.
Yeah.
That way we'll know it's the future. Benjamin, do you think they might do a trick where they do an episode where it's not colour graded and then at the end the twist is it was the future?
It was the future all along.
Look, Benjamin, I'm excited. I'll watch one episode.
It looks pretty good, Michael. It's William Gibson always gives us kind of a high concept sci-fi thing that's pretty darn good.
What else did he do?
Neuromancer is the one that made him famous.
Get over here. Did William Gibson do Neuromancer?
Yeah, I think that's the one where we got our famous term cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, Johnny Mnemonic. Did he do Johnny Mnemonic?
Yeah. No, he didn't do Johnny Mnemonic. He did Neuromancer, and then he did Mona Lisa Overdrive. He did a very unusual thing called the Sprawl trilogy, and then he wrote one of the defining steampunk novels as well, Michael. William Gibson's been defining genres all over the place.
Non-stop, Benjamin. I tell you what, he did do Johnny Mnemonic.
He did he?
Yeah, I took a punt there and just looked it up, and he absolutely did write Johnny Mnemonic. He wrote both
Good for him.
He wrote both the story and the screenplay.
Very good. I like it.
He's very prolific, that Jimmy Gibson fella.
Certainly for the speculative tech fiction.
Exactly, Benjamin. Benjamin.
Yeah.
Speaking of speculation.
Go on.
If you didn't like the Little Mermaid trailer, are you a troll or a racist?
Well, I'm a bit of both, Michael, as you know.
And a sodge.
And a big old sodge, a sodgy boy. In my, sodgy, racist opinion, Michael, it's just going to be no good, Michael. And the main reason it's going to be no good is because of a completely arbitrary factor that doesn't actually impact the story at all.
Benjamin, I think that they should have done it where the Little Mermaid was a man.
That'd be great. I'd watch the fuck out of that.
I'm sick of all these female characters up on my screen.
And you know what, Michael? We're not changing the gender of Prince Eric. We're going to have a big old gay male.
Big old gay mermaid story.
Big old gay mermaid story, Michael. It's made for it. It's made for it.
Instead of legs, he just wishes for a functional cock. That's what he wants. He's like, no, I'll keep the fish legs. I just want a human cock.
Leave me the tail. Leave me the
Yeah,
tail.
leave me the tail. Leave me the tail. I just want a human male penis sticking out of the front of it. So me and Prince Eric can get some business to going.
Let's get down to business, Michael. In the words of Disney, to defeat the Hun. Let's get down to business. Sorry, go on.
Benjamin. I don't care. I don't care about this one tiny little iota.
The internet does.
I care. Well, this was kind of going to be my point, but I think, Benjamin, that not causing, but stoking the fires of troll ire is now a marketing tactic.
100%. I could not agree with you more.
I don't know what we're going to call it. I think you could call it fan baiting, but I think first of all that's already... Is that already taken? And also that implies that like all fans are trolls. It's not though. It's kind of like troll baiting. But I think that's also already taken. We'll work on a word for it then.
Polar baiting? As in polarizing?
No, that sounds like we're going to sneak up behind polar bears and club them for their skins.
Only so we can put them in our Coca-Cola ads, Michael.
Coca-Cola. Sneak up behind a polar bear, Ben, with a kosh, knock him out. He wakes up the next day, thousands of miles away from home, being forced into doing a Coca-Cola ad. What is this? I'm a bloody stranger in a strange land. Oh no.
Oh, Michael, that would have been a great segue.
That was a great segue.
Switched it away. No, Michael, I think you've hit a nail on the head there, Michael. This is now a huge marketing tactic. It is generating a massive amount of clicks. It is the most watched Disney trailer ever.
Go on.
Most disliked. Yes, most disliked Disney trailer ever.
Okay, right.
And I think it's. I was having this conversation and I said Disney is not pioneering, alternate casting. They're not doing this for equality at all. They're doing this because it generates a storm around whatever film they're going to release. Michael, I don't think this is going to be very good. Not because of the main character being black, because the Disney live action films are shite.
All shite, Benjamin. Aladdin is the closest to possible, but who gives a flying fuck about remaking 20-year-old films?
Track record of shite.
Stop it, please. Just stop doing it.
They're no good. They're not as good as the originals. If anything, they're quite enjoyable in the sense of the original wasn't that bad, was it? And then you go back and watch the original and go, oh, this was great. That's a shame.
Yeah, Aladdin was great. That cartoon is fantastic.
The last one that we got there was Pinocchio, Michael. And that doesn't even really count as a live action remake because it's its own weird fucking thing. But, Michael, did you know they said bollocks in the Pinocchio movie?
Did they?
They said bollocks in the Pinocchio movie.
We could do a whole episode, Benjamin, about British and Irish actors sneaking the word bollocks into American TV.
I think we probably should. That'd be good.
I can think of 3 or 4 off the top of my head, but it's
all right, let's do that.
It's great stuff. That's crazy. Benjamin, it's kind of the same, I think, with Rings of Power.
Yeah,
Rings of Power is a middling TV series at best, but I don't know. Maybe it's my fucking search history. Maybe I've brought this on myself. I don't think it's my search history
because you're a stodgy troll.
Maybe it's that I'm a stodgy troll. Or maybe it's just that I fall for this clickbait, or I fell for it once and now it's forever going to be recommended to me.
Yeah, they got you.
My stream is just constantly full of like, Rings of Power actor says toxic fans are trolls, or Rings of Power producer says fan base is toxic, or Rings of Power actress says trolls are misogynistic. It's like, oh fucking hell. Can we not just admit that it's a middling TV series?
Yeah, I think very often, Michael, the quality of a show or movie kind of gets left by the wayside a lot of the time, in the sense that, it's very... this is a tricky one.
Yeah, go on.
It's very fashionable. No. It's very fashionable to now pin a bad series or a bad movie's failure on a bad fan base.
Yeah.
So, if we take, let's take Thor: Love and Thunder, right, as the example.
No use. Yeah.
And it's not a good film.
No, all over the place, tonally.
It's all over the
structurally.
place. Chris Hemsworth is phoning it in at different points. Natalie Portman is phoning it in at different points. It's not a good film, right? Now, I have heard the defense used like, oh, well, people just didn't like a female Thor. No. No, that's not the case.
You did, Ben. You did. Every time she was
I
on screen,
didn't.
you gave me a little elbow. You're like, oh, look at this.
No, I didn't. But anyway,
Who was that then?
nobody had, I think it was probably Shane or Jim. But come here, nobody, Michael,
Nobody.
had all that much of an issue with Lady Thor. They had an issue with it tonally
I
all
wouldn't
over the
say-
place. Okay, there were some people
I
that
wouldn't
had
say
an issue
nobody.
with it. But it didn't tank the film, Michael. What got bad reviews for that film is it wasn't a very good bloody film.
Wasn't a great film.
It had a racist Zeus. And I don't mean he was racist. I mean it was a racist portrayal of a Greek man.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah. I mean, again, like the Rings of Power, Ben. I think the Rings of Power for all Rings of Power. I hate the word virtue signaling, but Rings of Power as a show is going and saying anyone who doesn't like this is probably a misogynist because they don't like Galadriel, or they're racist because they don't like black dwarfs. And it's one of the most racist things on television. Those little grubby feckin' Irish characters get worse every week.
Do they?
Scratching around in the mud, trying to survive in a tweet. It's one of the most racist things that's ever been put on screen.
I would rarely read the independent newspaper, Michael, but one of the comments that came from it is it's famine porn.
Famine cosplay.
Oh, it was famine cosplay. Damn it! I was going to call it famine porn.
Oh, maybe they said famine porn as well. But yeah,
famine
it's
cosplay.
it's grotesque stuff. I think we should ban Lenny Henry from the island of Ireland.
Oh, is he real bad? Is he?
I mean, no. It's like it's that kind of insidious racism that is prevalent in the last 200 years of British-Irish relations, where they've gone, look at these little grubby characters living an honest and simple life off the land.
That's
Let's
what
give
Irish
them
people
all
are.
Irish
Look at
actors.
Look at those spiritual people.
Oh, they're
living
so
with so
spiritual. They've
little.
got flowers in their hair and they're vagabonds.
Michael.
Give them all Irish accents.
Jesus,
Lenny Henry, are you
Michael.
comfortable with that? Oh, yes, I am, of course. Like, oh, for fuck's sake. Benjamin, anyway, look, put it in the bin.
But the Little Mermaid shenanigans, Michael. Shenanigans indeed. Great
go on.
voice on that young lady, though. Very, very good singing of the song.
Good, yeah, good.
Good stuff.
Benjamin, I'm not likely to watch it, but I tell you, the reason why I'm not going to watch it has nothing to do with what race the mermaid is.
No, it's because the Disney live-action remakes are shite.
Yeah, shite.
They're shite. Michael, come here to me. Speaking
Yes.
of virtue signalling, a bloody She-Hulk episode 5 came out this week.
Benjamin, very good.
Yeah. Michael, I've reached my tipping point with She-Hulk.
Oh no, have they lost you?
No, they haven't lost me. But I'm sad to say that I now partially agree with you on the She-Hulk thing. I feel like
A great victory for misogyny.
I think it might be. So I really felt that this week we really got hammered by Jesus. Men are dumb and stupid, aren't they? I was just like,
fucking no use for them.
the 4 different dates coming back and being arguably worse than they were in the original montage.
So good. So good.
And I just went, there's not a single competent man in this entire series.
Yeah, no, there isn't. The closest is the lawyer friend.
Pug.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Pug and Nikki were enjoyable. I would watch an entire TV web series of Pug and Nikki.
There are competent men, Ben. They just happen to be gay.
Yeah. Oh, there's one competent man who's very good at what he does, but he's gay.
Yeah.
Michael, Jesus, it was still a great watch. I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching the weird Titania arc. I enjoyed, the Nikki Pug adventure. But then I watched it and I just went, wow.
Yeah, it's funny, Ben, because that was like water off a duck's back to me. I think this might be because you are, in fact, a fuckboy.
Oh,
I think that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Because, Ben, for so many women out there, that person has been you.
Oh, that's not fair. That's me. That's not true. Get out of here.
I didn't mind it at all. I didn't mind it in the slightest.
That's interesting.
It's water off a duck's back to me now at this stage. The man bashing in She-Hulk. I felt that it was less preachy this week. It more had a comic purpose. I actually don't mind man or woman bashing in comedy.
Yeah, well, it's pretty grand, actually. No, yeah.
So, have I convinced you? Have I turned you back around?
Well, no, I'm just a big sodge. You've just made me realise I'm a massive misogynist.
Just a massive sodge.
Shit.
So I actually thought
That's
that was
very
quite
disappointing
funny.
for me, Michael. I won't lie.
Oh no! Oh,
Yeah,
Ben,
it's
next thing you know,
a
you're
horrible
gonna be
realization.
you're going to be up in a trial, and you're going to be going, "Look, I went on a date with this guy."
I suppose
And then you'll be like, "I have a podcast."
I suppose the only thing to do now, Michael, is to find another white man and start a podcast.
That's literally the avenue left.
the only
open
option.
to you, Benjamin.
Oh
No.
But yes, it was still a good episode. I thought the Nikki and Pug stuff was very enjoyable. Titania's a very irritating character.
Yes, very annoying.
But I think that might be on purpose.
I think it is. Yes.
Yeah. And then we got our little teaser at the end, Michael. Bloody next episode. Who's it going to be?
It's going to be bloody Daredevil, Ben. I think this, to be honest, on the topic of troll baiting or fan baiting or whatever you want to call it, like there are a couple of little troll baiting, fan baiting moments in this, like when she says, "You can have all the superpowers in the world, and there'll still be some random man with an internet connection who thinks he's better than you," aka the audience of this program.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. The real test, the litmus test for this show and Marvel fans is going to be how do they treat Daredevil.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna. Do you think Daredevil will get a good portrayal, or do you think it'll be a comedic portrayal, or?
I don't think people would mind necessarily a comedic portrayal. Is Daredevil going to get the feminist dressing down that the Hulk got in the first episode? Because
probably.
I think that'll be the final straw, because Daredevil is sacrosanct to a lot of...
Yeah, he's the original. Yeah.
So...
He's one of the, he's one of the first live action successes.
Yeah. And, if a male disabled character gets a dressing down about feminism from someone who is both more superpowered and less disabled than him, people are going to go, oh. But I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're probably going to do a big sex, to be honest.
They might just make him. They might just make him bisexual, Michael.
Go on.
Just to give him the trifecta. Just to.
Wow. Well, really, I show your true colours this week.
Yeah, no, but I mean, do you know what I mean? It's one of the things I found really interesting about this week, Michael, is poor Tatiana Maslany is getting dragged by the fictional universe that she's in.
Absolutely dragged. It's absolutely hilarious.
For her.
Look at this creature. Isn't She-Hulk so sexy? But look at this thing. No one would want to date this.
That's the crux of her character, and it doesn't make any sense.
So mean to poor old Tatiana Maslany.
But she's an objectively attractive woman.
Yeah, but they've dowdied her. Like, they've Hollywood dowdied her.
Yeah, they have, yeah. But I mean...
She's Hollywood dowdy.
At a certain point, you'd be like, all right, lads. All right, take it easy.
Let's take this down a notch. Yeah. It's like when they used to cast, like, boys to play ugly girls on TV because they didn't want anyone's feelings to get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Very
great
strange.
stuff, Ben. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Turn back into Jennifer so we can all gawk at how hideous you are.
poor Tatiana Maslany.
I've also noticed right, Ben.
She's grand. She'll be fine. One of the things I've also noticed is sometimes, Michael, the She-Hulk animation, they obviously save it for the more actiony stuff at different points. Yeah. Sometimes, Michael, the CGI varying quality.
Yes, very varying quality. Yeah.
Very interesting. There was one episode this week, Michael, where she was less of a green and more of a grey kind of washed out, sickly green, and I was like, "What, lads? Did you forget to boost the contrast in that scene?"
Yeah, what did you do there? Is that the first pass? Have you done the first pass?
Have you done the first pass?
What's going on there?
Forgot to come back and fill it in.
Maybe they didn't know what any of the buttons did, Ben.
Yes, maybe they didn't, Michael. Which is a very common trope, Michael, in fiction. Good work.
Yeah, thank you. It was a little segue.
Good work. Michael, we came up this week mainly because we didn't have a topic, Michael, and we do this by the seat of our pants most week, off the cuff, if you will.
Yeah, go on.
But this week, Michael, we came up with a look at a fun little trope, Michael. It's called the stranger in a strange land trope, or sometimes known as the fish out of water trope, Michael.
Oh, more commonly, I would say.
More commonly known as the fish out of water trope, Michael. And what it is it's a classic L trope, Michael. It's a classic L trope of...
Where does it come from?
Come here to me. What if we had this established universe, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah.
What if we took someone who wasn't part of that universe, right?
Right, yeah.
And we just chucked them into it. Huh?
Just drop them straight into it.
How do you think that'd go?
They wouldn't know what was going on then.
They wouldn't know what was going on, Michael.
They'd be like a polar bear that was kidnapped from the Arctic, Ben, and forced to travel thousands of miles to be in a Coca-Cola ad.
Yeah, and it'd be gas, Michael. Now,
Gas
Michael,
crack altogether.
where these originally came from is quite interesting, actually. These originated in the types of plays that you would have seen with Shakespeare. Now, Shakespeare.
Oh, I've heard of him, yeah. He was in Sandman.
He was in Sandman, Michael. Yeah, he's that lad off the Sandman there.
Yeah, yeah.
So we would have seen things like that, Michael. And then the other things that we would have seen them in the other places we would have seen them would have been a lot of Victorian novels, but they wouldn't have been the speculative fiction fantasy stuff that we're used to today. What we would have seen originally was, look at this poor person, what if we gave them some money?
Oh, they won't know what to do.
And then,
where are they going to make their investments?
Other examples might be, in Shakespeare's sense, it's like, look at this peasant. What if we gave him a little bit of a title? Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
Oh,
and then you'd have that. The most famous example of this, Michael, was, of course, the wonderful and shiny Midsummer's Night's Dream. I got that wrong. Midsummer's Night's Dream. A Midsummer Night's Dream. There we go.
No,
thank you.
Midsummer Night's Dream, Ben. You've put the possessive S in the wrong place.
A Midsummer Night's Dreams.
No, none of that's right.
Yes. Midsummery, nighty, dreamy boy.
That's the one with Florence Pugh.
That's the one with Florence Pugh. But anyway, so there would have been famous examples of that, Michael, but we wouldn't have seen it in the sense that we're talking about it today, Michael, because what happened is science fiction got their bloody mitts on it, Michael.
Benjamin, hold on a second.
Go on.
I think you might have skipped one. I think you might have skipped a step.
Go on.
I think you might have skipped a very strong step.
Well, don't dawdle, boy. Tell me.
Very good. Oh, I feel like I'm in a Dickens. Lord Greystoke, Benjamin, of Tarzan.
Oh, yeah. I did skip an important step.
Isn't he one of the most kind of famous of that kind of... Look at this savage we found. Let's bring him to Britain.
He's one of the strangest lads in the strangest lands.
Yeah, he goes to Britain and he's like, what is this tea?
So, I mean, that would be the probably arguably the most successful of those early attempts, because it's all well and good to take an explorer and put them in, let's say, Africa. Rider Haggard, you bloody racist prick.
Benjamin, he was of his time.
He was of his time. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Wasn't he in his way? I know, and I understand the irony of now defending the British and their colonial and their colonial.
I'm going to enjoy it, Michael. I'll tell you that much.
But wasn't he, in a sense, pro-British, pro-Africa? Like he had a love of Africa. Like it might have been a misguided colonial love of Africa.
Yeah, a love of Africa and the imperialist civilizing force he brought to it. I don't know. Anyway, we would have had that, but where it became really successful, Michael, was when you took something out of darkest Africa and put it into modern society. So that I think that's where, that trope really found its purchase, so to speak, Michael.
Like especially Lord Tarzan.
Like Lord Tarzan, but especially in terms of a villain, Michael.
Oh, go on.
The Stranger in the Strange Land trope has given us some of our most successful horror franchises, Michael. A bloody Dracula.
Oh, yeah. Is Dracula a stranger in London, though?
He's a stranger in a strange land, Michael. He doesn't belong to... But you have to remember, in the original Dracula, Michael, the whole reason that he invites Jonathan Harker up to his castle is so he can learn about London. Is so he can prepare himself for the transition to the centre of the free world, Michael.
Oh.
And that's the whole thing. But that has a dose, Stranger in a Strange Land, because Jonathan Harker is immediately a stranger in a strange land. He's a stranger in Transylvania. Bleh.
Yeah, he's going, oh, everybody's so sexy.
Everybody's so sexy and fanged. And then on the other side of that, you had Dracula coming to London and going, oh, everybody's so sexy and non-fanged.
Look at all of everybody's necks.
Look at those exposed necks, my. For
Between
some reason,
the necks and the cucumber sandwiches and the imperialism, I think I'll get along here just fine.
I think Dracula might have found his new groove. I like that we transitioned from
Started
tasteful Dracula impression, Florence Pugh in the Black Widow movie, to Gru from series by the end.
Not some of our most consistent work.
Not great from us. What we got at the end, Michael, was we got other films like The Mummy.
Oh yeah, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the old The Mummy or the new The Mummy?
The old Mummy,
new
Michael.
The Mummy.
The old Mummy that was a novel originally.
Oh, go on.
So that trope became the backbone of the Yellowback editions. And we've talked about it a little bit in the podcast before, Michael, but the Yellowback editions were the controversial pulpy boys.
Oh, okay.
Back in the Victorian era, Michael. If you were picking up a yellow covered book, Michael, you knew there was going to be some scandalous bloody fiction in there, I'll tell you that much.
Penny Dreadful, is it?
An old penny dread. A pea dreads, as we call it in the biz. But Michael, the trope has gone on to do wonderful things. We see it all over the place. And it's very useful in several different ways. Number one, it gives the audience usually a starting point.
Because they don't know what the button does either.
They don't know what the button does either, Michael. Gosh, we're all dum-dums. How are we supposed to figure this out? Oh, well, don't worry. This character, who's going to act as a proxy for you, is going to do it for you. And you go, oh,
yeah,
cool,
Tyler
thanks.
Kitsch is going to go, what even is this society?
What the heck is going on? So, Michael, out of that transition, we have Edgar Rice Burroughs, Michael. Also, the man who came up with Tarzan. He was a huge fan of this, Stranger in a Strange Land. And he went, okay, that went well with a kind of an ape man in London. What if I took a Virginian man and put him on Mars?
A virgin, did you say?
Yes, what if I took a virgin and I put him on Mars? And it turns out he'd do just about as well as he'd do anywhere else.
Yeah. He'd become a real Martian fuckboy.
What does this button do? It's not a button. But yeah, so that's, it'd be a real Martian fuckboy. There's a lot of good episode names.
Yeah, I don't know. We get away with that one.
But yeah, so in general, Michael, that's what we're talking about when we talk about that. But John Carter is another great early example. And Michael, it's the favourite movie of friend of the podcast, Shane.
He loves it. He's
loves
obsessed
it.
with the film, with John Carter.
He's obsessed with John Carter, Michael. And it's very unusual. But John Carter of Mars, Michael, big old fun times.
Well, I don't know if the film was very good, Benjamin, but he is the classic bumbling around. I think it's part of it. I think, at least in modern film, if you're doing a Stranger in a Strange Land, if you're doing a fish out of water trope, then basically your character has to undergo what I like to call the George of the Jungle to Tarzan arc.
Yeah.
So they have to arrive there and they're George of the Jungle.
Okay.
And they keep bumping into trees and, falling and going, what do these seashells do?
What the heck is this?
What's this button? And, what else can I comically misinterpret? If you can have a female character, Benjamin, it's almost always a male, these characters, now that I think about it.
There's a few notable separations from that. There's bloody what was her name? Lilu in The Fifth Element.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
She's your example there. But we very rarely see it stretch outside of the male character. You're fairly spot on there. We see some examples of it in comics. We have I Hate Fairyland, which became very popular.
Oh yeah, a girl who goes to Fairyland.
Yeah, and as the title
doesn't love it.
Didn't go great for her. We see it a lot more in young adults.
Hold on. What I was going to say is you almost always have a misunderstanding of the way romance and relationships work.
So yes. Oh, look at that attractive primal man.
Look at oh, you're going back to Prince Eric. How are you from The Little Mermaid? But Ben, you almost always get that. You always get someone trying to throw the head in and the other person going, "Oh no, that's not how we do it around here."
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you can't be attracted to each other. Heavens no. There's a whole courtship.
Heaven above, you can't just lash the tongue into each other.
No. You settle down now.
Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
So
young adult.
We see it a lot more for female characters in young adult fiction.
Go on.
Where we have, we have strong female characters who are thrust into a brand new world, or more often a brand new society that they have to then thrive in.
You're thinking what I'm thinking.
Go on, you tell me what we're thinking.
I was thinking of the Hunger Games.
Yes, Michael, a perfect example. One of the great kind of plot holes in the Hunger Games film is that Katniss seems to be the only one. Katniss and Peeta seem to be the only two that don't know what's going on. Everybody else is, geared up and ready to go, and they're in their training montages when they go. And Katniss and Thing are just like, gosh, this is all so different.
It's so different. We don't have any buttons up in District 12. Whichever the hell district we're from.
I think you might have actually. District 12 is it's also a fish out of water story, but we'll get into that another time. But yeah, so it's really interesting in that regard that we see that for, I suppose, from back in the day of odd kind of female romance driven stories, your Jane Austens, your Brontes, your, one of the great dreams of those was to be a fish out of water, to be scooped up from obscurity, Michael, and transported to the shining, glittering higher level of society. So it's interesting that trope has kind of continued into a more modern context, but we see it all the time, Michael.
Katniss Everdeen is from District 12, Ben. Apparently I've got quite a lot of Hunger Games knowledge.
Yes, I think you got it. Yes, it's in there somewhere.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
When it happens to female characters, and this is probably just classic misogyny again.
Sodgy boys.
It almost always is like, oh, you've been accidentally transported back in time to a more gross and horrible feudal age, but don't worry, you're going to find the one man who has modern romantic standards. Yeah,
so I think, you're going to find the one man who respects consent as a concept.
You're going to find the one man who is the ideal man from 2022, but for some reason living in Viking times.
Yeah, a classic. That's absolutely it, Oracle. And it proves once again that for unfortunately for women, the bar is actually on the floor. What they're really looking for is a man who respects consent. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Benjamin, that's entirely the plot of Outlander.
Is it?
Isn't it? That's the one where the lady accidentally travels back in time to ancient Scotland.
It is. I always mix that up with Poldark.
Highlander.
Poldark, Highlander, a bloody sexy rugged man in the past.
Yeah, it is. I'm a lady. I've accidentally been transported into the past. I hope I don't meet a sexy man, but with broadly modern standards and philosophies.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that.
It'd be very awkward otherwise.
Thank God I found the one man who is completely different from his time. But Michael, it's been used for various different reasons. Obviously, the fish out of water trope gives us a bloody heap, Michael, of comedic opportunities.
Oh yeah, you can crash into a tree.
You can have a theme tune, a talking gorilla.
Yeah, you can not know what the button does.
Lots of things that you can do. It's also been a huge kind of boon for fantasy comedy writers. The likes of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Michael, is based entirely on the premise of, a fish out of water.
A dolphin out of water, I think.
A dolphin out of water. Yes, so long and thanks for all the fish. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a great example of that, Michael. The movie, not so much, but the book is quite... Well, the movie's actually not too bad. Sorry, Michael, I seem to have the hiccups while I'm podcasting.
You've got the hiccups, Ben.
I've got the hiccups. It's not great for podcasting. I'm just going to hold my breath. You spin your wheels there.
That has Zooey Deschanel in it, Ben. The film. And did Martin Freeman play Arthur Dent? Is that his name? And he's like, I'm a big fish out of water. I don't know what any of these things do. Is someone going to show me? And then he accidentally tries to throw the head in and everyone goes, no, that's not how we do it around here, Ben. Not Ben, Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur, not Ben. But Michael, we see that even more in one of the most popular series of recent years, which is Rick and Morty.
Season 6 is out, Ben, and
Season 6, we haven't been watching it at all, Michael.
No, I forgot. I forgot it was out.
Yeah, but Michael, one of the interesting things there is we have Morty, who is the classic fish out of water, and then we have Rick, who's more of a shark in the pond kind of gig. Yeah. So
metaphors.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a trope, but I'm coining it right here. The opposite of the fish out of water trope is the shark in the pond trope, and I'm coining it
who put the shark in our pond?
Who put the shark in our pond? And for all intents and purposes, Michael, Rick Sanchez is very much the shark in his universe. Unflappable. Top of the food chain.
We're not here to talk about Rick, Ben. We're not here to talk about him. People talk about Rick all the time.
But what makes Morty an interesting character is that over the seasons we are watching his transition from fish out of water to not necessarily a shark in the pond, but definitely a big whale that doesn't give a fuck in the pond. He's like, for fuck's sake.
You don't want him in your land, Benjamin. Benjamin.
Yeah.
One of my favourite fish out of waters of all time is on your list there.
Go on, you.
And it is John Spartan in the film Demolition Man, Benjamin.
Michael, John Spartan is essentially your role model for all things, as far as I can tell.
When I grow up, Benjamin, now, bearing in mind that I currently am the age that Sylvester Stallone was when he made this, but when I grow up, Benjamin, I want to be Sylvester Stallone.
Is that strange as you move through time that you're like, we're the same age now? Oh,
well, I don't. Hold on, let me check that. When did Thingy come out? When did Demolition Man come out? 97?
I think it was 97.
93.
Yeah. 93.
30 years ago.
That's
insane.
How old
is Sylvester Stallone? Oh shitballs, Ben. I was kind of hoping that it's okay. It's close enough. It is close enough. He was about 42 when it was made. Jesus Christ.
Jesus
well, now I'm having a crisis.
That's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. We're going back to reboot the podcast. It's going to be called Sodgy Cornflakes, and it's going to be our misogynistic takes early morning over a bowl of cornflakes. That's what it is.
That's fucking great stuff, Ben. That is a great name. That is brilliant. I was trying to find the comedy through line of Sodgy and Soggy, but you've nailed it there.
Sodgy
You've
Cornflakes.
Absolutely nailed it. Sodgy Cornflakes, the misogynist podcast.
Our tagline will constantly be, who's pissed in our cornflakes this week?
That's some great stuff.
Yeah.
Ben,
yes.
So he's traveling. He's traveling forward in time, and everything's different now.
Oh, Michael, things are all cotton woolly, Michael. Everyone's been wrapped in cotton wool. What about meat and fucking and things like that?
What about them, Ben? They're all gone.
They're all gone, Michael.
You can't even wipe your own arse.
Apparently not.
Benjamin, the film Demolition Man, the strange world that the stranger wakes up in, very prescient in terms of it's exactly what the more conservative among us feared the future would look like, and it
is what the alt-right
far
thinks.
Off, Ben. It's not grossly, it's not miles off.
Yeah, look at all those women being able to participate in society equally and not have to worry about bloody sexual assault. Ooh, what a horrible future. Horrible.
Yeah, and no one's fucking and no one's fighting. Gross.
No one's fighting. Oh no, we can't eat any meat. Oh no, we've all been made vegetarian.
Yeah. Enforced vegetarianism, Ben. Very interesting concept.
Very unrealistic, Michael. But I think you are right though. You've kind of hit the nail on the head there. It is the great fear of the alt-right. They're all like, oh no, this is what the liberals are trying to do.
Yeah. But the funny thing about that Stranger in a Strange Land plot in Demolition Man is that because Demolition Man is a 1990s action fantasy film, Sylvester Stallone is proven to be right in all of these things.
Yeah, so that's
he's right.
The ultimate fulfillment.
Yeah. He's like, I'll go to the strange land and I'll show them how to be a man from the 90s and it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be grand.
He tries to throw the head into young Sandra Bullock, and she's like, "Oh no, that's not how we do it."
I'm sorry.
The future.
I'm sorry, John Spartan. That's not happening.
Yeah. But then I bet you it fucking does happen. Then
it bloody does. They go and do it physical.
He reintroduces salt, Benjamin. He reintroduces meat. He reintroduces pretty much everything to the future. The terrifying thing about it, though, Ben, is that movie was made in 1993 and set in 2032.
Ooh.
And we are now considerably closer to 2032 than we are to 1993.
Tragically.
And things haven't changed. Things haven't changed that much, Benjamin. It's not like in 10 years we're going to be unfreezing someone from the 90s and going, please help us to recenter society.
No, Michael. Now we're probably going to have to, unfreeze people from the past and be like, "How did you deal with people kicking off about a fictional creature who changed skin color?"
Yeah. We should have frozen Dane Cook in the 90s so we could unfreeze him in 10 years.
No, thank you.
He would have sorted us out.
No, thank you. I don't think Dane Cook is the John Spartan we need.
Who is Ben? Who will we get from the 90s? Who do we unfreeze from the 90s? Who was 40 in the 90s? Oh, Sylvester Stallone. We should have just frozen Sylvester Stallone.
Should have just actually frozen Sylvester Stallone and made a real life version of the film Demolition Man.
Yeah. We could have got a Rocky 5.
Oh, that would have been good, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing a
Enough
little
of that
box.
now. Look at your wrists. You're going to break your wrists, Ben. Straighten those wrists out.
My dainty glass wrists.
Anyway, yeah, that's enough of that now. That's borderline offensive what you're doing there.
Yeah, I know. I have to be frozen now in the cryogenic pods.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? We could froze you in the cryogenic pods and wake you in 40 years and see what people think.
What is this beta male? What is this? What is this? This here is a sodgy boy, as far as we
Benjamin.
know. Very outdated notions about women. Yes, go on.
We forgot California Man, one of the all-time classics.
I'm sorry, what is California Man, Michael?
Have you never seen California Man?
No, I haven't had the pleasure of seeing California Man.
Benjamin, your generation might know it as Encino Man.
Ah, there we go, Michael. There we go.
It's called California Man here, Ben. But your generation might know it as Encino Man.
Go
It's
on.
bloody Brendan Fraser again, Benjamin.
Brendan Fraser, what a man.
And he got frozen in the olden days, but was incredibly sexy. But now he's been unfrozen, and he's unfrozen and incredibly sexy.
It is called California Man here. That is bizarre.
Benjamin, I tell you what, in the 1990s in Ireland, nobody knew what Encino was. So you couldn't call a film Encino Man.
So you called it California Man.
It's still called, that's what it's called here. In Ireland,
Very
that
interesting.
film is called California Man.
Very interesting, Michael. It's the top Google result.
For California Man or Encino Man?
No, for Encino Man. California Man is the first thing that pops up at the top.
Yeah, that's what it's called here.
Mad,
We didn't
Michael.
know what Encino was, Ben.
Ah, well, we should just get someone frozen from the 90s in Ireland and show them the world today.
Yeah. Well, that is the plot of what's it called? Demolition Man.
Calicino Man.
Demolition Man in Ireland was known as Blown Stuff Up Man.
Yeah, it's classic.
Because no one knew what
Boom
Demolition
Man.
was.
And then bloody Bob Geldof saw it and went, "Oh, I'll call a band that, and that'll be great."
Yeah, the Boom Man Rats.
Yeah, the Boom Man runs. Right. That's enough of our riffing, ladies and gentlemen. What is your favourite fish out of water story?
Fucking riffing's a bit of a strong term for that nonsense. Bob Geldof on the Boom Man Rats. Fuck's sake.
I don't
usually swear this much, Ben, but this week has really aggravated me. There's just a lot of nonsense going on this week. A lot of bullshit.
think that enough, ladies and gentlemen. We are in fact transitioning to Sodgy Cornflakes at the end of the week. We're just going to start calling out all this woke liberal nonsense.
Oh, fucking hell, Ben. That's a great name.
We might actually have a successful podcast if we do that.
Welcome to Sodgy Cornflakes. The bi-weekly misogynist podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what is your favourite bloody fish out of water storyline? Give us a shout. Get in touch with us in a few different places. You can find us on the interwebs at www.seomrabeag.com, SEOMRABEAG.com.
It means tiny room in Irish.
It does indeed. You can find us on bloody Instagram at Sherlock.
Yeah, you can find us.
You can find us on Twitter at Listener.
Listen, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you can do that as well. But the best place, ladies and gentlemen, to get in touch with either Michael or myself is to get up on that Discord, baby.
hop up on it. Send me the latest trailers and weird news.
Yeah, because we can't always keep track of it. In fact, sometimes we only watch trailers 5 minutes before our podcast.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known about the School of Good and Evil if it wasn't for the old Discord.
I wouldn't have known anything about Mr. Harrigan's phone unless you texted to me.
Mr. Harrigan's phone.
Yeah.
That's the name of it. That's the real name of it.
I think it's a real contender for the Golden Mickey this year, Michael.
Oh, I don't know if it was ever called the Golden Mickeys, was
No,
it?
we're rebranding.
All right, okay. This year we'll do the Golden Mickeys.
Yeah, the Golden Mickeys.
What are we talking about next week then? Do we have any other podcasts?
We have other podcasts, Michael, but they have come out last week. So if you want to hear more about us, you can check out our other podcast, Bloody Collecting Issues, the bi-weekly comic book club. We released an episode last Friday on the wonderful world of Lucifer, Volume 2, The Divine Tragedy.
Do you think that Collecting Issues comes out on Fridays?
Apparently I do, yeah. What did I say? Oh, look, it's been a week, lads. It's been a week.
Oh, it's been a week. I'm going to go have some stodgy cornflakes.
I'm going to go have some stodgy cornflakes and think bitterly about how the world is changing around me. I don't like
wish
change.
I was John Spartan. Just freeze me now, Ben, and wake me in 40 years and I'll fix everything.
You fix everything through brute force and misogyny.
Yeah. I'll bring back fighting and misogyny. It'll be fucking great stuff.
Yeah, it'd be great. And bloody Wesley Snipes will still be around kicking off.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, let's wrap it up there. No more riffing.
No more. We're done. Goodbye.